And euanmaclennan, would you rather fight a duck-sized horse or 100 horse-sized ducks? I think he's got that the wrong way around. Hello everybody, Deliaariff here from Beyond Educated, your channel dedicated to health, productivity and well-being. And today I'm excited to do our first question and answer session. I've been waiting to do one of these for a while, but I've not done one because I thought I didn't know how many people would post questions, but I've done it and I've got a ton of questions. If you're wondering about why my hair's all funny, I smacked my head on a cupboard today. I had to go to A&E and get some glue put in to stitch it together. Yes, that's right. So let's get started. I've posted the questions, the posts up on Facebook, on Instagram and on my YouTube. So I'm going to get all of those up so I can bring up all the questions that everyone's asked me. I wanted to add that because this video is like a 15-minute long video and it's taken me so long to answer everyone's questions, I've done my best to get through them all. If you click down below in the description and you just want to go and find your individual question, then I will put the descriptions down for all your individual questions, so you can just go at that time if you want to just find out what the answer to yours is. So do that if you don't want to watch the whole thing. So starting off with Instagram, we have a question from chrismaffeijunior. When will the t-shirts be available? So for those of you that don't know, I'm doing these Beyond Athletics t-shirts. They're like fitness lifestyle t-shirts. I wanted to do the t-shirts myself, bought the printer, bought the heat press and everything, and then realised really that I wasn't getting the same kind of quality that I wanted from the t-shirts to bring you the best kind of quality that you deserve. So I predict within 4 weeks I will have all the t-shirts up on the website ready for sale, but I'm going to do a different production process for the actual t-shirts. So 4 weeks today, I'm going to say t-shirts will be up ready for you to buy. El Greco has posted on Instagram, how can I get to look like Superman in 30 days? I have good looks and lower body. I just need the upper body to shape up. Well, this is a tough one because in 30 days it's going to be quite difficult. There is one series of Superman, I believe, one theory in the comic books that says they are evolved from human beings over like millennia and millennia. So bottom line is, El Greco, that you ain't going to get there in 30 days, but if you stick around for about 50,000 years, and make sure that you are on a planet with a yellow sun, which will be Earth, then you may just get there if you work hard. Han-Ari89, does lactose count in a sugar-restricted diet? I.e., if I want to stick to less than 30 grams a day to do a sugar, do I count lactose technically as sugar? Yes, lactose does count in terms of your sugar content. So, for example, when I'm getting super lean, I tend to cut out things like peanut butter, I tend to cut out milks. A lot of people get confused a lot of times between refined sugars and between non-refined sugars, but ultimately a sugar is a sugar, whether you're getting it from a complex carb or you're getting it from something else. The actual structure of it is the same, it's just how your body breaks it down. The difference being, for example, with refined sugars that you get in such things like an apple, I know we're talking about lactose, sucrose and things like that, is it comes with all the vitamins and minerals that your body can use then to break it down. So what I would suggest is, if you're looking at like lactose and sugar content in general, that you count lactose towards your sugar intake when you're calculating your micronutrients or macronutrients within your body. Saraariff has asked, how do I build up my core? So building up your core, you can do a number of exercises, but a lot of it comes down to actually the types of exercises that you're doing and how you're performing them. So look up something called Valsalva, which is all about breathing in and building your core. And what actually you do when you breathe in and then you hold that and it seals the air in your lungs through your glottis, what you'll find is a lot of people, for example, when they're doing leg raises, they think they're building the core, but actually they're working their hip flexors. So building your core is all about making sure that you are tensing your core, your three main parts of it really, which is your diaphragm at the top, your transverse abdominals, and your pelvis. They're all the three main parts that you're talking about when you're building your core. So it's all about really engaging that core when you're building the exercises. So for example, you're doing crunches, it's making sure that you're not going up past 45 degrees, because actually it's not then, it's more working your hip flexors than your actual core. So think about the way that you're performing your exercise and think about your breathing techniques. Fat over 40, Smiles from Fat Over 40. Adam, what do you go to your post-workout snack? Actually, my post-workout snacks I don't really tend to have. I tend to have normal food after a workout. So if I know there's going to be a big gap between my workout and actually when I'm going to eat, I will have a protein shake, which will just be whey protein. But I don't tend to eat straight after the gym, which I know isn't great. It tends to be like half an hour, 40 minutes, and then I'll have like my evening meal. We've got... this is my mum, deliaariff. How can I do a run when I'm working and finding it really difficult? I think ultimately you need to think about what your ultimate goal is. So is your goal to be running because you want to burn calories? Is your goal running because you want to be increasing your fitness? Do you want to do it because it makes you feel better in the day? And then really, if for example your goal is to be, actually I want to run because I want to burn X amount of calories because I don't want to put weight on, for example, then what you should do is you should look at actually calculating how much time you need to spend running a day. So if you're doing, for example, 4 30-minute runs a day, well maybe you could do 3 40-minute runs, and that's more feasible for you to fit in. So think about what your goal is relating to that, why you're doing it, and that'll give you your answer as to how and when you can fit things in. Oligrandidge has asked, how much water minimum maximum should I be aiming for a day? So for those of you out where the body's comprised of, when you're a baby, around 70% water, 75% water, and that gradually sort of tapers down as you get a little bit older. The body is pretty much 65% water. If you don't have it for a long sustained period of time, you know, you start to get renal failure and all this. So it really is important in terms of regulating your body. I'd recommend ideally minimum 2 litres of water today, between to 3.5 litres of water today. You know, use bottles, like bigger bottles, to measure it. That's what I always say to people that want to track the water intake, rather than doing it from glasses here and there. And then you can kind of keep track of the amount of water that you should be having. Again, the amount of carbohydrates and fats and the balance in your body affects how much water you're going to be retaining and how much you're going to be passing through, because carbohydrates absorb water. So keep that in mind when you're talking about water balance. Ideal balance, this is Yaz Ari 1642. Ideal balance for cardio and strength. The two things are kind of different, but it depends on your goals. When you're talking about strength, actually what you're referring to is sort of heavy exercises, building strength through repetitions of 3 to 8 reps and resting between 2.5, 3 minutes. For hypertrophy style training, 8 to 12 and 12 to 15 for endurance style training. But the two things kind of don't really come hand in hand. It depends what your goals are. If you're looking to kind of burn weight and increase your TDEE, which is a total daily energy expenditure, then you want to increase your cardio because you want to be able to eat more calories, and strength training will be separate to that. I recommend as a minimum kind of doing maybe some cardio in the morning, then strength training in the evening if you have time. But if you do strength training effectively and cross it between a kind of hypertrophy style training, you don't have to do cardio in the traditional sense that actually you're going out doing like a 50-minute run every day. You can actually get your cardio effective fitness through your strength conditioning and hypertrophy style training. Then we've got chrismaffeijunior, will you ever answer any of these questions? I am doing now. Green_J, favourite cheat meal, and do your calories count on a cheat day? Do you count your calories on a cheat day? So for those of you that know me and know the way that I diet and work out, I don't have cheat days. I have a flexible training and flexible working plan, so I actually eat what I want as long as it's within my sort of macronutrient balance. And Mittel P, or M17ULP, is asked, what can I do to bolster the depth in my back? So that really comes down to an effective back training routine. So when you're talking about your back, you're talking about your posterior deltoids, your traps at the back, your rhomboid, and your erectus spinae, which is the lower part of your back. Now, in order to develop and bolster thickness within your back, if you're talking predominantly at the top, you need to do exercises a lot of people go to do this and do lat pull downs. Well, this will work your lats here, but what you really want to target is your rhomboid, your anterior deltoid, and your traps to get the actual thickness. So moving on to Facebook. God, this is a blast. Blast. So Roberto Blake has asked, I'm actually interested in what you consider to be best Instagram practices. I mean, that's quite flattering being asked that from Roberto Blake. For those of you that don't know, he's a YouTube guru and business sort of entrepreneur, and I'm part of his sort of creative academy online to help kind of build and up your business. But I'm no guru on Instagram by any means. The key thing that I really do with Instagram is make sure that I post daily. So on a Sunday I'll pull up like 7 different images and I'll put captions and quotes with that. So one of the things that I find with Instagram is when you stop doing something for a while, you may have like X amount of engagements or likes, and when you stop that for a while, you then have to take a while to kind of build that back up. So one of the things I always find is keep something always present on your Instagram stories, and keep something always post at least once every day on Instagram. So on to my Facebook, Paul Roberts, how are we? I was hoping for some advice on focused fat burning. The only part of my body that I have a problem with is my gut and love handles, caused doubtlessly by craft beers and my girlfriend Donna. Interesting. Do you have any tips to blitz these areas? Unfortunately, you can't spot reduce fat, so that just comes down to the fact that you need to be in a calorie deficit, and the only way you can do that is by tracking the food intake, and you will lose fat on your gut, but also other areas depending on how you're genetically predisposed. Saraariff, sister, has asked, do you rate the Body Coach? If so, what's your favourite recipes? Yes, I do rate the Body Coach a lot. I think what he's done, the model that he's taken, and how he's brought fitness and cooking and everything to the forefront of kind of the modern fitness world is really impressive. So yeah, I do rate him. He's in very good shape. He's very disciplined with what he does and very knowledgeable. I did follow one of his recipes, which was like a chorizo and cod mixed lentil dish, and that was pretty much the only one that I had, which was from his first book. And euanmaclennan, would you rather fight a duck-sized horse or 100 horse-sized ducks? I think he's got that the wrong way around. Obviously, I would rather fight a duck-sized horse because I would just stand on it. I think he means would I rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses. So, yeah, confused. I'm going to go through these questions, even if this video takes a little bit longer, because basically that's just what I want to do. Just want to get through the questions. So there's a few more on YouTube. Hi Kim. 5 questions here quickly to cover, which Kim never asked me a question which I wasn't happy about. This is from Make a Day 13. Like, bro, how's the whole experience going? Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning loads. I've learned loads from doing my personal training courses and fitness courses and stuff, but it's challenging. It's hard. It's a lot harder than I thought, but you know, I never want to shy away from a challenge, so bring it on is what I say. Islandaesthetics, good to see you back, man. What's your plan for the end of the summer months, as in bulking or cutting, whatever? So I'm now on a bulk. I've gone up from my cut, which was like 72, 73 kilos. I'm now at kind of like 77 kilos. I'm probably going to get up to about 80 until next kind of March time, and then I'm going to go on a cut again and do another kind of photo shoot. What do you find most annoying about YouTube? That's from greywolffitness. The way that like smaller channels don't get like any kind of priority in terms of how they appear on like people's news feeds, so it's really hard to grow unless like you pull some like stupid viral videos up that people click through. That really annoys me. And flextony's asked, how much do you weigh? 77.2 kilos today. And that's the questions. So that's quite a long video, 12 minutes, but I hope I've answered all your questions. If you've ever got any questions for me, don't be afraid to DM me at adam@beyondeducated.com. Also, if you're interested in my coaching plans and things like that, just drop me a line. I'm always happy to answer any questions from you. Thanks for listening, guys, and as ever, remember, stay educated.